Ever feel like you've got this untapped potential? Just simmering beneath the surface. Like you're capable of so much more, but just not quite sure how to tap into it.
Yeah, I think we all feel that way sometimes.
Well, today's deep dive is for you. We're going to be cracking open Adam Grant's Hidden Potential.
Fantastic book.
It really is. We're going to discover some practical, science-backed insights on how to achieve bigger and better things.
I love how Grant really digs into real-world examples and research.
Yeah, and he really challenges our assumptions about talent and success. It's not just like a feel-good self-help pep talk.
Definitely not. One of the most intriguing things is how he argues that judging potential based solely on starting points is incredibly limiting.
It's like saying, oh, well, we can predict an athlete's entire career just based on their high school track record.
Exactly. It's like looking at a snapshot in time.
Right. And completely ignoring the potential for growth and change.
He makes a great point that we should be focusing on the distance traveled,
So how much someone has grown and learned over time.
Exactly. That's a far more accurate indicator of their potential. It's like searching for those hidden gems.
The ones that might not have had all the advantages early on.
But they've shown this amazing ability to learn and adapt along the way.
Yeah, those are the ones who often surprise us.
Like the Raging Rooks. You familiar with them?
Refresh my memory.
This incredible chess team from inner city Harlem.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of them.
They weren't, prodigies or anything. In fact, they struggled initially.
But they had something special, right?
They had this unwavering commitment to developing their character skills.
Yeah.
Things like discipline, focus, resilience, and it really paid off. They ended up competing at a national level.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It just shows you the power of hard work and determination.
And it really challenges those who might have underestimated them based on their background.
Their story really makes you think about how much untapped potential is out there.
Yeah, just waiting for the right conditions to flourish. One thing that really struck me from the book is this emphasis on character skills being so crucial for success.
We often hear about the importance of talent or intelligence, but Grant argues that those character skills are often stronger predictors of long-term success.
Yes, exactly. He highlights this really interesting study, thousands of kindergartners in Tennessee.
Interesting. What do they find?
Well, they found that the experience level of their teachers had a really significant impact. It shaped these kids' crucial character attributes years later.
So the teachers played a key role in developing those character skills, even more than their academic skills.
It's pretty remarkable, and here's the kicker. These character attributes actually had a bigger influence on their future income than their early academic performance.
Wow, that completely flips the script on how we traditionally view success.
It really does. And it suggests that cultivating those skills isn't just about being a good person. It's about equipping yourself with the tools to navigate challenges, setbacks, and ultimately achieve greater things.
So those seemingly soft skills like perseverance and self-control actually become the secret weapons for achieving our goals.
Exactly. And Grant provides a roadmap. He actually shows you how to strengthen those character muscles. And it's not just about focusing on character growth either. There's so much more to uncover in hidden potential.
Well, I'm ready to keep digging. What other insights can help our listeners unlock their own potential?
Well, one of the most thought-provoking ideas is how Grant challenges us to really reframe our relationship with discomfort. Instead of avoiding it, he actually encourages us to seek it out.
Seek out discomfort. That sounds counterintuitive, especially when we're constantly told to stay in our comfort zones. So how does leaning into discomfort actually help us grow?
Well, think about it. When you truly master a skill, you've probably pushed past those feelings of awkwardness and frustration, maybe even feelings of incompetence.
Right. It's about getting comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Exactly. And that true comfort actually comes from confidence. The confidence you build through practice and overcoming those early hurdles.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about embracing the messiness of the learning process, isn't it?
It is, and Grant really debunks this whole myth of learning styles. He emphasizes that sometimes the most effective way to learn is to venture outside our preferred styles, tackle the things that initially feel challenging or unnatural.
That's so liberating. It's like permission to experiment and push ourselves beyond our perceived limitations. He uses some great examples of people who've done just that, right?
Absolutely. He talks about Steve Martin, the comedian. Did you know he initially disliked writing?
I had no idea.
But he forced himself to become comfortable with it. And through that uncomfortable process, he discovered his unique comedic voice.
It's like he had to wrestle with the words to find his own style.
Right. And then there's Sarah Maria, the polyglot. She learned multiple languages very rapidly by immersing herself in situations where she couldn't rely on her native tongue.
So she forced herself into those uncomfortable situations where she had no choice but to learn and adapt.
Exactly. It really accelerated her learning process. These stories are so inspiring, aren't they?
They really are. It's like proof that we can achieve anything if we're willing to embrace the discomfort and push past those initial feelings of self-doubt.
I think that's a great takeaway. And speaking of pushing ourselves to grow, Grant introduces this concept of scaffolding.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What is scaffolding in the context of personal development?
Think about those temporary supports that you see around a building under construction.
Okay, I can picture it.
That's scaffolding. It's a support system, often temporary, that helps us reach new heights while we're learning. It provides us with the right guidance, structure, and resources.
And as we gain proficiency, the scaffolding gradually fades away.
Exactly. Just like with a building under construction, eventually we're able to stand on our own.
So it's like having a mentor or a coach or even a well-designed learning environment, something that provides the support we need while we develop those skills.
Precisely.
Do you have any examples of how this looks in real life?
Well, think back to the Raging Rooks. Their coach, Maurice Ashley, he provided that scaffolding.
Right, he instilled in them the discipline and the strategies they needed to succeed.
Exactly. And then there's Evelyn Glennie. She's a deaf percussionist. She actually learned to feel music through vibrations thanks to the tailored support she received.
Wow, that's incredible. It shows that even when faced with incredible obstacles, the right kind of scaffolding can make all the difference.
It really can. So it's about identifying those obstacles, whether they're internal or external, and then intentionally seeking out or creating the support systems that can help us overcome them.
It's like admitting that we don't have to go it alone. Sometimes we need to ask for help, which can be tough for some people.
That's a great point. Seeking support, especially when we're pushing ourselves to grow, is often seen as a weakness. But Grant reframes it as a strength.
Yeah, it's a strategic move, isn't it? It's about getting the support we need to reach our full potential.
Absolutely. And this idea of systems that nurture potential isn't just limited to individuals either.
Right. Grant also looks at how larger systems, like our education systems, can either foster or hinder growth.
Exactly. He argues that if we want to unlock potential on a larger scale, we need to design systems that are equitable and provide opportunities for everyone to succeed.
So it's not just about individual effort. It's about creating systems that level the playing field.
Exactly. One system he highlights as a model for this is the Finnish education system.
I've heard great things about the Finnish approach. What makes it so unique?
Well, they really prioritize a genuine love of learning over rote memorization or standardized test scores. Their teachers have a lot of autonomy in the classroom, and there's a strong emphasis on play-based learning, especially in the early years.
Play-based learning. It sounds almost revolutionary, especially compared to some of the more rigid systems we see in other parts of the world.
It does, doesn't it? And they also recognize the importance of something as simple as regular recess breaks for improving focus and learning.
Recess breaks. Really?
It sounds so basic, but it makes a huge difference.
It makes you wonder if we could all benefit from reconnecting with that childlike curiosity and joy of learning that we often lose as we get older.
It's definitely food for thought.
So we've talked about focusing on character growth, embracing discomfort, seeking out scaffolding, and creating systems that nurture potential. What other gems does Grant have in store for us?
Well, he also dives into how we can actually unlock potential in others. It's fascinating how Grant connects unlocking potential in others to our own growth.
Yeah, it's like that saying, a rising tide lifts all boats.
Exactly. He delves into the tutor effect, suggesting that teaching someone else actually solidifies our understanding and improves our recall.
It makes sense when you think about it. To teach something effectively, you really need to have a solid grasp of it yourself.
Precisely. And there's another fascinating concept he explores, the coach effect. This suggests that when we guide others through challenges, it actually strengthens our own belief in overcoming obstacles.
I love that. By helping others navigate those tough situations, we build confidence in our own abilities to tackle similar challenges. It's like this ripple effect of positive growth, both for the person being coached and the coach themselves.
Exactly. And Grant doesn't just focus on individual development. He challenges traditional selection processes, like job interviews and college admissions. He suggests we shift our focus from past achievements to indicators of future potential.
So instead of fixating on those GPAs and resumes, we should be looking for signs of growth, resilience, and the ability to learn.
Precisely. He highlights the story of astronaut Jose Hernandez, who faced numerous rejections before NASA finally recognized his potential. This highlights the flaws in systems that prioritize pedigree over perseverance.
It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the most promising candidates aren't the ones with the most impressive resumes, but rather those who have shown exceptional determination and the ability to overcome adversity, almost like diamonds in the rough, just waiting for the right opportunity to shine.
And Grant offers specific alternatives to those traditional metrics. He suggests considering factors like grade point trajectory, which shows how much someone has improved over time, and work samples, which provide a more direct glimpse into their skills and abilities. These offer a much richer perspective on an individual's potential than a simple snapshot of past accomplishments.
It's like looking beyond the surface and digging deeper to uncover the hidden gems.
Exactly. Another compelling example he presents is Call Yakul, an Israeli call center staffed entirely by people with disabilities.
Yes, that one really stood out. Their approach completely flips the script on traditional hiring practices.
Instead of focusing on perceived limitations, they've designed a system that identifies and nurtures individual strength and passions.
Their reversed interview process is so innovative. By focusing on what people can do, rather than what they can't, they've created a thriving and successful business. It really challenges our assumptions about what constitutes ability and disability.
Absolutely. Now, shifting gears a bit, let's talk about how systems on a larger scale can either nurture or stifle potential. We touched on this briefly with the Finnish education system.
Yes, I'm curious to dive deeper into this. What other insights does Grant offer about how we can design systems that truly unlock potential?
He uses a fascinating case study, the Chilean mine rescue back in 2010. Remember that? 33 miners trapped underground for over 2 months.
Oh, yes. It was a gripping story that captivated the world.
While the rescue involved incredible acts of bravery and ingenuity, it wouldn't have been possible without systems that fostered collaboration, encouraged diverse perspectives, and prioritized open communication.
I can see how those elements would be absolutely crucial in a crisis like that. But what did those systems actually look like in action? How did they contribute to the success of the rescue?
Well, the rescue team, led by mining engineer André Sugaret, faced a completely unprecedented challenge. They needed to come up with a solution, and fast. Instead of relying solely on a select group of experts, they opened up the problem-solving process, soliciting ideas from anyone who was willing to contribute.
That's an incredible approach, especially given the high-stakes nature of the situation.
It was a testament to their belief in the power of collective intelligence. They created a kind of innovation tournament, welcoming ideas from diverse sources, regardless of their background or expertise.
So they were really open to thinking outside the box, to considering solutions that might have come from unexpected places.
Exactly. And one of the winning ideas actually came from an engineer who wasn't even part of the official rescue team.
Wow, that's incredible. A true testament to the power of tapping into a wider pool of knowledge and expertise.
He had devised a unique claw-like device that helped to stabilize the drilling process, a critical component in ultimately freeing the miners.
It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the most innovative solutions emerge from the fringes, from those who might not fit the traditional mold of an expert.
Absolutely. And another crucial element in the Chilean mine rescue was their emphasis on open communication. They created systems to ensure a constant flow of information between the rescue teams on the surface, the engineers working on the technical challenges, and the trapped miners themselves.
I can see how that would have been vital for maintaining morale and ensuring that everyone was working together effectively.
One seemingly small but significant detail that facilitated this communication was a tiny yellow plastic telephone. They were able to lower this phone down to the miners through a narrow borehole.
That little phone became a lifeline, a symbol of hope and connection in the midst of isolation and uncertainty.
It allowed the miners to communicate directly with the rescue team above, to share updates, offer insights, and even just engage in conversations to maintain morale.
It's amazing how such a simple tool could have such a profound impact. It highlights the importance of prioritizing human connection, even in the most challenging circumstances.
Absolutely. And Grant doesn't stop there. He offers another compelling example of how systems can enable innovation and unlock potential, this time in the corporate world. Have you ever heard of W.L. Gore and Associates, the company that makes Gore-Tex?
Oh, yes. I'm a big fan of Gore-Tex, especially for outdoor activities. What's so unique about their approach?
They've implemented an organizational structure called a lattice system, which is essentially a flat hierarchy with no traditional bosses.
Wait, no bosses? That sounds almost too good to be true. How does that even work?
It might sound counterintuitive, but this structure actually fosters a right. It highlights the power of their lattice system. Because there are no rigid hierarchies or departmental silos, Deet was able to find support and resources within the company to pursue his idea, even though it wasn't directly related to their core business.
So their organizational structure itself acts as a form of scaffolding, supporting those with initiative and passion, even if their ideas seem a bit off the beaten path.
Exactly. And those Elixir guitar strings ended up becoming a massive success for Gore-Tex. It's a powerful testament to how systems that encourage autonomy, initiative, and the cross-pollination of ideas can lead to unexpected breakthroughs.
It makes you wonder how many brilliant ideas are out there, just waiting to be unleashed if we can create the right environments to support them.
And that brings us to a crucial point. Systems can also work against us. They can inadvertently limit opportunities and perpetuate biases that prevent individuals from reaching their full potential.
Yes. It's like the flip side of the coin. We need to be aware of the potential downsides of systems and be intentional about designing them in a way that truly fosters inclusivity and unlocks hidden potential for everyone.
Absolutely. And Grant dives deeper into this idea in the next section of the book.
So how do we even begin to identify and address these systemic biases? It feels like such a deeply ingrained issue, woven into the fabric of so many of our institutions.
It's definitely a complex challenge, but Grant suggests a two-pronged approach.
Okay, I'm listening.
First, we need to cultivate greater awareness of our own biases. We all have them.
Oh, absolutely.
They often operate below the surface without us even realizing it.
It's like they're hiding in plain sight.
Exactly. By acknowledging and understanding those preconceived notions, even the subtle ones, we can start to mitigate their impact on our decisions and actions.
It's like shining a light on those hidden corners of our minds where those biases can lurk.
Right. But awareness is only the first step.
So what's the next step? How do we move beyond just recognizing those biases to actually challenging and changing the systems that perpetuate inequality?
That's where action comes in. Grant urges us to become advocates for change, to challenge the status quo, and to actively push for systems that are more equitable and inclusive. He doesn't just leave us with vague calls to action either. He provides concrete examples of individuals and organizations that are making a real difference.
That's what I appreciate about Grant's work.
Yeah.
He doesn't just point out the problems. He actually offers solutions and inspiration.
Exactly.
Can you share some of those examples? I'm really curious to hear about the people who are out there on the front lines dismantling those biased systems.
One powerful example is Brian Stevenson, a lawyer and social justice activist. He founded the Equal Justice Initiative.
I've heard of him. His work is incredible.
He's dedicated his entire career to fighting for the rights of those who have been wrongfully convicted and marginalized by the criminal justice system.
Such vital work, especially given the deep-seated biases that exist within the legal system.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's a stark reminder that we can't just sit back and passively hope for change. We need people who are willing to actively fight for it, to challenge those systems and demand justice.
Exactly. And Grant doesn't limit his exploration of systemic change to just the legal system. He looks at a wide range of institutions, from education to healthcare to the corporate world, examining how biases can manifest and how we can work to create more equitable and just systems across the board.
It's about recognizing that this work needs to happen at all levels of society.
It's a powerful reminder that unlocking hidden potential isn't just about individual effort. It's also about creating a world where everyone has the opportunity to thrive, regardless of their background or circumstances.
Yeah. It's about leveling the playing field. And that brings us back to one of Grant's core messages. We are all works in progress.
Constantly evolving and capable of achieving more than we initially believe.
Exactly.
Such an empowering message. It reminds us that we all have hidden potential waiting to be unleashed.
We all have those untapped reserves of strength and creativity.
But unlocking that potential requires not only personal growth, but also a commitment to building a world that supports and nurtures that growth for everyone.
Absolutely. It's about creating a more just and equitable society where everyone has the opportunity to reach their full potential.
And Grant doesn't just leave us with inspiring words. He equips us with practical tools and insights that we can use to navigate our own journeys and to create positive change in the world around us.
He gives us a roadmap for action.
Well, this deep dive into hidden potential has definitely left me feeling both challenged and incredibly inspired. I'm walking away with a renewed sense of possibility and a deeper understanding of the importance of not only cultivating my own potential, but also advocating for systems that create opportunities for everyone to thrive.
It's about both individual and collective growth.
To all our amazing viewers out there, we'd love to hear your thoughts. What resonated with you most from this deep dive into hidden potential? What steps are you going to take to unlock your own possibilities and to advocate for a more equitable world? Share your insights in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, Book Reviews 1, for more insightful explorations of the books that can change your life.
Thanks for joining us on this journey of discovery. Until next time, keep those pages turning and those minds expanding.